Hello.
Hi. Hey, Bakani, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. This week you're being hosted by Katie from the Dance Art Journal, and we're an independent dance writing platform. And as you can see, we're joined this week by Bakani, who is the artistic director of Bakani Pick-Up Company. Um, I don't know, maybe start with an introduction from yourself, Bakani, so you can just take a few minutes to tell us who you are, a little bit about your practice, and then we're going to obviously talk about um, the need to create spaces, your letters to the letter to the system, which was, if anybody hasn't written it yet, then you should definitely, if you haven't read it yet, you should definitely do that. Um, but yeah, if you just want to just tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm just quite a shy boy. um, so I've been sort of working as a improvisational practitioner, choreographer, facilitator, since I left Falmouth University 4 years ago. Um, and yeah, so I've been working freelance and independently as a company for the last uh, I think year and a half now, actually, since leaving Dance 4. I worked for a year as the graduate dance artist. Um, yeah, so I've been an independent artist for about a year and a half, and we've been trying to kind of figure out what it is that our sort of practice applies to. There's so many kind of leaks in the ceiling. When you kind of close one, there's another one just
Mm,
behind you. So I think I've been having conversations over the last few months, in particularly with like the Black Lives Matter movement. That's one kind of hole in the ceiling to the kind of industry. But then also there's trans rights as well, and creating safe spaces for transgender people as well. And non-binary people. And I think there's kind of like this echoing of a need for a complete overhaul um, of the way that things function at the moment, which kind of comes down to like really simple things about like auditions, gender-specific auditions, and what that kind of um, says to people that are non-binary, for example.
mm,
Um, and their kind of place within the dance industry. Um, and also kind of looking at uniformity as well, racial uniformity in works, and kind of thinking that it's kind of normal and how it's become normalized, and never really acknowledging that maybe there's an issue that a dance school or university can have 150 students, but only three or four of them are black. You
mm,
know, is are they, because immediately when you're in that situation, you are very hyper aware that you're the minority. Um, and so, how do we, as kind of practitioners, facilitate that into a safer space? How do NPOs facilitate these places into safe spaces? Um, even simple things as like building access, making more access to buildings for wheelchair users, for example. You know,
yeah.
safe spaces aren't just about um, one thing. I mean, to be honest, I think it comes from this problem of white supremacy as normality.
Yeah.
So, not like people are actively trying to not be diverse or actively trying to ignore Black voices. They're
Mm,
just not in a system that they think that it's a problem.
mm,
So they're constantly contributing to the problem. Um, it's kind of really sad because, sometimes it's also a problem, and coming back to like safe spaces for diverse artists, whatever diverse means, but, from the non kind of traditional kind of apex epitome of who's running things, when you all of a sudden you're in these spaces and you're like, I'm the only woman here, or
mm,
I'm the only disabled artist here, I'm the only black artist here, you kind of then feel also unsafe sometimes, and you kind of feel like, oh, positive discrimination that you're just there to tick boxes. And I think that's sort of where the organizations are leaning towards. I think we're going to see over the next few months, you know, and over the next couple of years, a lot of kind of pushing people of color and like other diverse artists to the forefront, you know. And it's like, you look at that, you look at the programming, you go, this is really amazing. Meanwhile, the artistic director of this organization has been in this job role for 25
Oh,
years, and it's the same person, and they're going to be there until they retire. So is that
and what
real
about,
change?
yeah.
So I think the kind of whole system just needs complete revamping, and I don't know if it's going to happen soon, but I'm really concerned about sort of really kind of different artists like myself um, being used as kind of like, oh no, look, see, we kind of, we get it, you know, we get this. We've invited this artist to come and do this, but also we haven't done anything about our outreach program. So all of our black students are still all white students, or this, that, and the other. And it's just like, it doesn't really resolve the problem if it's kind of just being used as this, we're really great, we're doing diverse work. There's a dance company, one of the biggest dance companies, dance theatre companies in the UK, or the world actually. Um, and they sell out their shows all around the world. Um, but the aesthetic of the relies heavily on racial uniformity. And it's been like this for quite a few decades now. And when the sort of Blackout Tuesday thing happened, you know, they did it, and then they started sharing the very, very small kind of catalog of Black artists that they with over 30 years. And
Going for
then,
the archive.
you know, yeah, yeah, it's like, oh, look at all these old pictures from 2004. It's just like, oh, you know, this is the thing. And you're just like, okay. And you're just like, well, maybe they're making an effort. Who am I to judge? Who am I to kind of label this as performative? And then all of a sudden, um, they announce a new kind of program, and it's back to normal.
Oh, you had me there. I thought that. Oh, geez. You
And
know,
it just,
it's
yeah, it's just like no one's kind of not seeing that much kind of noise, the Black Lives Matter movement. So, you know, maybe it's quieting down, because these are decisions that they made probably before lockdown. These are programs that they made available before lockdown. And so now the kind of result of them is exactly what the Black Lives Matter movement within the arts was talking about.
thank you,
I mean,
everyone.
thank you. Bye.